Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fatihah binti Suhaimi. My metric is 2020 88812. I am from class AT110-2A. In this video, I would like to present about three possible factors that can affect crop production in Malaysia. In oil palm. So, first, oil palm is a major crop production in Malaysia that contributes either financially or to the country's agriculture sector. The majority of the Z and millennial generations were unaware that these crops are abundant and in high demand in Malaysia. Palm oil is extracted from the fruit of the oil palm tree, scientifically known as Elaeis guineensis. The palm oil tree was first planted in Malaysia in 1870 after it was discovered in Africa. From 1905 until today, the palm oil plantation has grown to become one of Malaysia's most important plantation crops. As we all know, oil palm is the main source of income in Malaysia's agricultural sector. But Malaysia is also one of the world's largest producers of palm oil. So, palm oil is used to treat and prevent vitamin deficiency. Other applications include cancer and high blood pressure, but there is no scientific evidence to support these applications. The oil palm tree yields high quality oil, which is primarily used for cooking in developing countries as food. Palm oil is used for frying. It's also found in a lot of processed food. Oil is also used in the production of cosmetic, soaps, toothpaste, waste, ink, and in etc. Okay, saturated and unsaturated fats are found in palm oil. Palm oil contains vitamin E and beta-carotene in some varieties. These kinds of oil may have antioxidant properties. Palm oil is a high-yielding crop, and it has a much higher yield at a lower production cost than other vegetable oil. Palm oil production and demand are increasing rapidly around the world. Plantations are proliferating throughout Asia, Africa, and Latin America. So, three possible effect crop production is number one, soil sustainability. Okay. So for soil sustainability, we have chemical and physical properties of oil palm trees influence their growth. Soil chemical properties must indicate potential reserves. A more soluble form of K, sodium, Ca, calcium, and Mg must be included in the plant nutrients required for healthy palm oil tree growth. In terms of soil physical properties, if the land is flat or gently undulating, the soil must be deep and well drained in order to produce the best palm growth. To avoid compacted horizons near the surface that can retain enough water and a high percentage of either added or natural nutrients. The oil palm requires a flat soil. Why? Because the transportation is difficult and expensive if the terrain is not flat. The water washes the earth away, causing severe erosion. Furthermore, the oil palm requires deep soil because its roots cannot develop because they come into contact with a hard layer and are unable to absorb water and mineral salts found deep underground. When there is a lack of water, oil palm yields are low. These trees require at least 1 meter of soil depth. Farmers should avoid highly saline, highly alkaline, coastal sandy, or water-saturated soils. Oil palm cultivation necessitates permeable soil. If water remains around the roots of the oil palm for an extended period of time, it does not grow well. The oil palm necessitates a high concentration of mineral salts in order to produce numerous large clusters of fruit. Fertilizer can be used to add mineral salt to poor soil. Okay, so number two is climate requirements. Oil palm production in Malaysia has been increasing for years, beginning in 2012, because the climate in Malaysia is suitable for oil palm plantation. Climate has a large influence on plant growth and crop production quality. This is because some plants require specific conditions in order to grow. Oil palm, for example, requires humid environments with temperature ranging from 22 degrees to 24 degrees minimum and 20 degrees to 33 degrees maximum. For optimum growth, oil palm requires a humid climate and specific moisture with at least 5 to 6 hours of bright sunlight per day and 80% humidity. This crop necessitates an annual rainfall of 2,500 to 4,000 mm or 150 mm monthly. Climate change may benefit some plants by increasing carbon dioxide levels and extending growing seasons. Other effects of global warming, such as increased pests, drought and flooding, will be less severe. Because the Indian climate is not conducive to evenly distributed rain, farmers are advised to opt for irrigated conditions for oil palm cultivation. Sabah has the most oil palm plantation land in Malaysia, followed by Sarawak and Johor due to climate sustainability. Number 3 is pests and disease. In agriculture, pests are organisms that damage crops by their feeding or burrowing activities, and diseases involve microorganisms like fungi, bacteria, and viruses. It damages the crops by disrupting the plant's psychology, metabolism, or direct cellular and tissue damage and the crop ability to optimize production. The major pests of oil palm in Malaysia are rats, bagworms, nettle caterpillars, rhinoceros beetles, bunch moth, and termites, while the most important disease is Gardnerella basal step rot and, to a lesser extent, marasmus bunch rot. Insecticides will remain the main weapon against insect pests. By integrated control involving regular monitoring, good agronomic practices, conservation, supplementation, and utilization of natural control agent. And the judicious use of chemicals will become increasingly more important. Chemical with broad spectrum of activity, long and persistent residues, and high mammalian toxicity will continue to be replaced by safer and more target-specific products that are also safer to the environment. Appropriate control measures should be taken for these pests and diseases by contacting nearest agriculture department. There are numerous approaches that can be taken depending on the circumstance. Evaluating the oil palm sustainability is not as simple as plugging numbers into mathematical formula and expecting a clear-cut answer for soil sustainability, despite the fact that there are models of sustainability such as biodiversity and deforestation. Okay, biodiversity. Stop growing oil palm in unprofitable areas and turn them into a wild reserve. Improve the farm environment for locally imported, rare or endangered species by providing appropriate habitats and implementing appropriate cultural practices, such as avoiding pesticide damage to beneficial flora and fauna. Before expanding the plantation into new areas, conduct a full environmental impact assessment and follow the recommendation that results. Expansion into primary forest area is never acceptable. Second, where available, extension into degraded lands and areas previously used for other crops or grassland is preferred over extension into areas such as forests and wetlands, even if partially degraded. Second is deforestation. Oil palm expansion has been linked for deforestation, and there are two widely held beliefs about this. Forests have been cleared to make way for oil palms, and oil palms are established on areas that have been logged, cleared, and planted with other crops. If the latter is true, oil palm will exonerated of the charge of causing the loss of primary and secondary forests. Furthermore, in order to mitigate the effect of climate change, Malaysia can concentrate on planting crops in specific areas that are ideal for the crops. This will provide the crop with ideal growing condition and result in high quality crop oil palm fruits. While Sabah and Sarawak are ideal for oil palm. Finally, we would prefer integrated pest management to deal with pests and disease. It It is due to the use of holistic and compatible pest and disease control methods to reduce crop economic damage. As a result, IPM will reduce the reliance of pesticide, making the process more sustainable. As an example, Salcra, which is Salcra, employs the discipline of integrated pest management to control pests and disease outbreaks by planting beneficial plants such as Cassia cubaensis, Turma subulata, and Antigonum leptopus to provide shelter and supplemental food such as nectar, as well as encouraging the population of predators and parasites. Biological control such as pheromone traps is effective beside the rhinoceros beetle breeding site being sprayed with Metarhizium anisopliae. So for the conclusion, plant growth will be influenced by soil sustainability, climate requirements, and pest and disease. These factors have an impact on Malaysia oil palm plantation. As a result, we can use the suggested method to mitigate the effects. Malaysia's oil palm and plantation industry will become more stable as a result of this method, and the economy will grow. The climate and soil conditions in Malaysia are ideal for oil palm plantation. As a result of pest and disease control, the plantation industry can expand and produce higher quality oil palm. That's all from me. Thank you.